Power rowing is for rowers who have successfully completed a classification process and been allocated a sport class, PR1, PR2 or PR3. They're eligible for all adaptive competition up to and including the Paralympic Games. Adaptive rowers have also been through a classification process and have been seen to meet a minimal disability, but they are not eligible for para sport. These rowers will gain a national classification, AR classification. There are 3 classifications in para rowing. PR1 athletes lack trunk function. This means that they propel the boat using their arms and their shoulders. Often their sitting balance is poor, and so they have straps which strap them into the postural support seat within the boat. PR2 rowers have trunk function but have limited leg function. This means they row on a fixed seat. PR3 rowers have retained residual function in their legs which allow them to use a sliding seat. Visually impaired athletes are also included in this class. All rowers on the para pathway, including wheelchair users, will normally start their experience of rowing on a rowing machine in a gym. This allows us to teach them the basic stroke profile, sequencing and consistency. Once they progress to the water, PR1s and PR2s will be in wider beam boats, which feature floats to allow increased stability. Capsizing is part of the sport of rowing, and therefore these athletes should be invited along to a club capsize drill where they can capsize and practice capsizing in safety in a controlled environment. As coaches, we work within the rules of the classification system, but we don't set them. Essentially, athletes will classify if they lack range of movement and/or strength across a joint. Some of the reasons for this might be a spinal cord injury, traumatic brain injury, cerebral palsy, ataxia, hypertonia. The list is not definitive and there are many others. Some common conditions won't classify for parasport. Deafness is not a classifiable condition. Neither is rheumatoid arthritis, complex regional pain syndrome, post-traumatic stress disorder, or functional neurological disorder. As with all rowing activities, safety should be our primary concern, but there is no reason why para and adaptive athletes can't be integrated into existing structures within clubs. There is a lot of experience on best practice from the club adaptive group and from para pathway coaches who'd be more than happy to answer questions or provide more information on what it is that you'd like to know about. Paralympic class boats are as follows: male PR1 single, female PR1 single, mixed PR2 double scull, mixed PR3 double scull, and the mixed PR3 coxed 4. For more information about classification, please email classification@britishrowing.org. We will send you a medical diagnostic form which needs to be filled out by a medical practitioner. It's good practice to collect all medical documentation such as letters, scans and x-rays as well. These should be sent to the British Rowing Head of Classification, who will then be able to book you in at a face-to-face classification session. We normally run these 3 or 4 times a year. For GB international rowers, you need to go through an international classification session organised by World Rowing.